Theme song. Do you want to build a snowman? Please, Nathan, let's build a snowman. And by snowman, I mean podcast. Do you want to build a podcast?
That movie's not in this playlist.
But it's a Disney movie. What more do you want?
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Our Dads Are Brothers, a TV and movie review podcast. I'm Nathan Tracy, along with my co-host.
I'm Bat Tracy. And today's episode, Disney. Animated versus live action.
That's right. We got about 10 movies, maybe a little bonus one in there, live action counterpart. So around 20 movies we'll talk about today.
Yeah, and we're going to basically, in our opinion, collectively, we have to agree. We have to decide which is better, the animated or the live action.
How you been?
I've been good, man. How are you been?
I've been doing good. Yeah, things are good.
You been watching anything?
Yeah, I've been watching Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix. That's the Phil Rosenthal, I believe is his name.
Okay.
He's the creator of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yes.
And he's married to Amy, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yes.
And he goes around the world trying new food. It's a fantastic show. He's hilarious. Also, Ozark, Bluey. And I only say that because of my baby. I've been watching Bluey for about a year and a half now, I'll tell you.
Well, I've been watching just a shitload of stuff, honestly. I finished King Queens. I think I mentioned that last episode, though. I can't remember. But I watched season 4 of Stranger Things, the first part, and then the next 2 episodes, I think, come out later. Nice. And I thought it was great. I've really liked Stranger Things since the beginning. Season 3 is still my favorite. I don't think season 4 is better. I just really like the conspiracy aspect of season 3. Sure. But this one's great. I really like it. And I also saw Doctor Strange 2 in theaters, which I won't spoil anything because I know you haven't seen it. It was pretty good, but I came to the conclusion I don't like Doctor Strange in the MCU very much. I just don't like his character.
Like at all? Like you don't like him, or he's not a favorite?
I haven't liked either of the Doctor Strange movies very much.
That's okay.
So I just kind of was like, I just don't like his character. I like things about the movie. Like, this is not a spoiler. It's the most horror movie that's ever been made in the MCU. Like, there's some jump scares and stuff. MCU? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's like a straight up horror movie. And there's some really cool stuff in there. But it's just the Doctor Strange character, like him as a character, I'm just like, I don't like him.
Sure.
And I think that's it. I've watched Ollie G into House 3 times this week, but besides that, I'm done.
Nice. And then obviously some Disney stuff.
Yes, I watched a lot of Disney stuff also. Good. In the span of 3 days. Because I kind of forgot to watch Disney stuff, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta watch a bunch.
Yeah, I think we were both in that boat. I was like, oh. Do you know when Doctor Strange 2 comes to Disney, is that going to be to everyone, or just like Black Widow, you have to buy it?
No, because I went to theaters first, it'll be just streaming.
Oh, perfect. Because it's coming out fast. I'll get to see that in like 2 weeks.
Nice.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think June 22nd.
I think you'll like it. My dad
I think so.
My dad thought it was fucking fantastic.
Nice.
He saw it twice.
Oh wow. I'll probably rewatch the first one and then watch the second
one. I don't like the first one.
I fell asleep during theaters and I don't remember it.
See, it's just he doesn't do enough magic in the first one for me, and I know it's an origin story, but all he does is that like firecracker kung fu with his hands, and I just don't like it. And then in the Avengers movies he's in, he does awesome magic, but he's still I'm just like, he's boring. I don't know.
Yeah, let's get on off this topic. Sheesh. That's what the kids say these days, I guess.
Do they?
Yeah, sheesh. That's a big word kids say.
Yeah, I've also heard that Golly Gee Willikers is pretty popular nowadays too.
Okay. Today is June 16th. You want to cover the birthdays?
Absolutely, I will.
Okay. Who do we got?
All right, so today's birthdays, we have Bill Cobbs, Tupac Shakur, Arnold Vosloo, Stan Laurel, Clifton Collins Jr., KJ Apa, Laurie Metcalf, Daniel Bruhl, John Cho. And I got a couple wrestlers for you, Razar and Ultimate Warrior. And I think Ultimate Warrior is a piece of shit.
Okay.
Who do you want to highlight?
Let's go with Daniel Bruhl.
Oh.
Yeah, he's 44 today, born in Barcelona, Spain.
Which is interesting because I know he's a German actor, and I found out it was because his mother didn't trust German doctors, so she went to Spain to have him. I think Daniel Bruhl's best known for his roles in Inglourious Bastards, the movie Rush, Captain America: Civil War, and the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series on Disney Plus, and then The
Mhm.
Zookeeper's Wife and The Cloverfield Paradox, which was a huge letdown of a movie. I also thought this was pretty fun. He voices Kenai in the German version of Brother Bear 1 and 2, and he was also the voice of Lightning McQueen in the German edition of Cars.
Very cool.
Yeah. Fun fact for him about you, even though I think these have all been pretty fun facts. During the making of the movie Das Weiße Rauschen, he portrayed a character with paranoid schizophrenia, and he insisted on meeting an actual person with the said condition. His portrayal was universally acclaimed and is cited by the academic community when discussing paranoid schizophrenia.
Very cool.
I thought so too.
Yeah. He's a good actor that falls under the rug sometimes.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping you would have chosen to highlight Arnold Vosloo.
I will be honest, I do not recognize the name.
Uh, well, he was in the G.I. Joe movies. He's in Hard Target with John Claude Van Damme. He was Darkman in Darkman 2 and 3. He was Imhotep in The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. You know, he's all over the place.
Well, there's a little bonus secondary highlight that you just covered.
That's for all the Vosloo fans out there, like myself.
All right, so I'm going to give out our email quick. It's ourdadsourbrothers@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you with anything, really. Any reviews, comments, ideas, just the hello, maybe your Instagram name. I don't
Tell
know.
us your favorite Disney movie right now. Go email us, and then we'll talk
Yeah.
about it on the podcast.
Wait, you mean in general? I thought you meant like this episode. Like,
Yeah,
go email
yeah.
and then it'll be this. I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
it'll be in this episode. Yeah.
No, I thought was that what you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no.
Should we hop right into it though?
Yeah, I think we should. We got a
Enough-
lot to cover.
Enough silliness. We have Disney in mind.
Yes, hold all the fucks and shits, and let's get into Disney. Let's get this fucking shit going. All right, so I've taken the liberty to choose 10 stories that they have animated first, and then live remake second. And we're going to go over the years and everything about them. Are you ready?
I'm 101% ready.
Well, fancy that. 101 Dalmatians is first.
Wow, what a coinky dink.
So we're going to do this in alphabetical order. I don't know if I mentioned that, but so first off, the animated came out in 1961 and then live action in 1996.
So right after you say the first years, I just want to interject real quick. Notice how many of these the remakes came 30 years after the original. Happens all the time. The director of the animated, this is a hoot and a half. It's got 3 directors, Clyde Jerome, Hamilton Lusky, and Wolfgang Reitherman. And then the live action one was directed by Stephen Herrick. The animated had a budget of $3.6 million and it grossed $303 million, significant upturn. And the live action had a budget of $67 million and it grossed $320.7 million.
Crazy margins.
Yes. It's crazy that they're 30 years apart and they made roughly the same amount of money.
Right. So I'm pretty sure most people know the synopsis of all these because who doesn't love Disney? But we can quick give a little rundown.
Yeah.
101 Dalmatians is about a little Dalmatian named Pongo. He's owned by Roger. Well, I'll just say real quick, I think it's hilarious. It starts out and Pongo's, you just hear a voice and he's like, yeah, my pet Roger. And it's Pongo talking about how his owner's his pet. I love that. Pongo and Roger, live in the bachelor life. Pongo's like, hey, dude needs a girl, and I might as well get one too. So he finds another Dalmatian with an owner. They've got some babies, and then this evil woman.
They have some babies? They have 101 babies.
No, they only have 15 babies. And then Cruella de Vil. She wants to have a Dalmatian coat and such things. They find out that she's kidnapped many more before, and when they escape, there was about 100 or so, maybe 101 Dalmatians.
To be specific.
Well,
technically there's only 99 because if there's 101, they're counting the 2 adult Dalmatians.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
There any notable actors in the remake?
Yeah, there's in the live action version, Glenn Close plays Cruella de Vil. She's fantastic. I don't think that's a great movie, but her performance overall is absolutely fantastic, and she reprises the role in 102 Dalmatians. Side note, but isn't it crazy that they're like, what do we do for a sequel? And they're like, how about we add one more dog?
Right. Yeah, this one also has Jeff Daniels and Hugh Laurie. I think they're both notable.
Oh yeah, I like Jeff Daniels
Yeah.
and Hugh Laurie. He's House.
Yeah, he is. And Jeff Daniels is dumb. Or is he dumber? I don't remember.
He's one of the two. So, anyways, have you seen both of these movies, the Dalmatians films?
I have. I've seen the animated most recently and the live action probably 1997 or so. But no, I've seen both. I think I'm going to go with animated.
I also am voting for the animated. I watched both of them within the last 2 years, I'd say. I think the animated is 100% better. One, it's shorter. It's movie moves at a clip. It's like an hour and 20 or whatever, but
Right.
it moves really fast. And besides Glenn Close as Cruella, the live action just, I don't know, it doesn't have a lot going for it in my opinion. And
Sure.
I think it shows like on Rotten Tomatoes, the animated one has a 98%, whereas the live action has a 41% critic score. So, a huge margin there.
Yeah, I think we're going to go with the critics on this one.
I agreed. I think the animated wins.
All right, moving on to the next one. We're going on to Aladdin.
Ooh.
The original animated came out in 1992, and the live action, one of 4 movies that came out this year, all Disney remakes, 2019.
Yeah, the original was directed by Ron Clements and John Musker for a budget of $28 million. Ended up grossing $504.1 million. And then the live action was directed by Guy Ritchie with a budget of $183 million. And it grossed $1.051 billion. That's billion with a B. Guy Ritchie has $1 billion film. That's the guy who directed King Arthur.
That's crazy.
Now, have you seen both Aladdins?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I have also. So basically, the synopsis is Jafar finds a genie lamp in a cave and he wants to retrieve it. And Aladdin's a thief, and they cross paths, and Aladdin gets the lamp, and then Jafar's like, I'm gonna get you, Aladdin. And then he meets the genie and he gets 3 wishes. And then he meets Princess Jasmine and he's like, I wish to be her boyfriend. And then will they fall in love at the end in true love, or will Jafar win?
That's the one thing we won't spoil is love. We're never going to spoil love.
Which one did you like more? Because I'll tell you. Let me tell you what the critics and the audience got to say about this one, because I think it'll help us a little in this matter.
Sure.
So the animated movie has a 95% critic score and a 92% audience score. So that's pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then the live action has a 57% critic score, but a 94% audience score.
I mean, and that's kind of how I feel about the second one. The remake, I liked it a lot.
When I saw the remake, I thought it was better than it had any right to be. Like,
right, well, and that's exactly how I look at this. A lot of people look at these as, oh, it's not like the original. It's not supposed to be, in my opinion. Like, this is just a vision that the directors bring into life from the book. They're not trying to copy the original movie to a T. Otherwise, why would we watch it?
Well, there is one that's trying to copy the original to a T, and we'll get to it later. But I really like the live action one. I thought it was really fun, but I do think the animated is better. It moves really fast. It's got some great songs. I love the visual styles. The only animation part that I really don't like in that original is the part when they first go into the lava cave. They use 3D animation for the lava in the background, and it looks really janky. But besides that, I think the movie's really beautiful and well done.
Yeah, I agree.
So do we have to vote? Did you say you're going with the live action? You think it's better?
Yeah, so first I'm going to say for the animated, we got 2 great RIP voices, Robin Williams and Gilbert Gottfried. Both great.
Yes, agreed. They're great actors.
The live action, the only notable one to me is Will Smith. I believe the rest are either...
Yeah, mostly Bollywood actors.
I was going to say found to fit the role or up and coming that I'm not familiar with. One of the two. This is a tough one.
I think I got to side with the animated, but I'm willing to change, I guess.
I'm going to, by a hair, agree. Because it's a classic, because I grew up with it, but I like the other one a lot too. So it's
Agreed.
not, for me, it's like a wash. Like, they're both good, but I feel like we have to choose one, so animated.
The Rotten Tomato score on this one really fascinates me because if you just look at how close the numbers are,
Yeah.
like the animated has 95 critic and 92 audience, whereas the other one has 94% audience. So technically, I think audience, that means the audience technically would like the live action more because it has a higher percentage. Crazy to think about. Anyways, yes, I
Right.
give it to the animated. So the animated wins?
Yep.
All right. What's next, sir?
Next, we're going to Alice in Wonderland. The
Ooh,
animated came out in 1951 and the live action in 2010.
we're really going down a rabbit hole here, aren't we?
Yeah.
So the original was directed by Clyde Jerome, who I mentioned in a previous. He directed 101 Dalmatians. Same with Hamilton Lusky, and they're joined by Wilfred Jackson this time. And that was made for a budget of $3 million, and it grossed $2.4 million in its original 1951 theatrical release, which is a downturn. This was actually a loss for Disney at the time. But then they re-released it in 1974 and it grossed 3.5 million, and it sparked a lot of merchandise and home video rentals and stuff for them. So they actually turned a profit on the movie finally. And then the live action was directed by Tim Burton, one of my favorite directors of all time. He's actually on this list twice. This one was directed for a budget of $200 million and it grossed $1.025 billion, which I was very surprised to learn that this movie brought in $1 billion.
It's very cool. I think it probably did just because the director and then some of the cast, which we'll get to a little bit later.
Agreed. Do you mind if I take the synopsis on this one?
Sure. I just want to quick say, since you talked about the box office and everything, I think it's crazy that, well, as everyone knows, this one's a little out there in a good way. But the fact it came out in 1951 and it didn't have the best rapport, I think if it would have come out in the 60s, with all the psychedelics and everything, this would have skyrocketed.
Oh, yeah. Heavily agreed.
Yeah.
So basically, this one is about Alice, who is a courageous young woman, and she falls down a rabbit hole into an underground world where everyone is just a little bit mad. And she meets Mad Hatter, and she meets Cheshire Cat, and she goes on an adventure, and she's gonna save Wonderland.
She just like what's this hole, and just goes in, doesn't even give a fuck. She's just like, oh yeah. Okay,
yeah, she just goes right in. Not something I would do.
No.
So these ones I think are also pretty interesting. I will say right off the bat, I think the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know why, I've just always loved it. Crispin Glover's in this movie. I think he's fantastic. And I've never seen the animated movie before, and I watched it, and I think it's really, really good. The animation is just wonderful and bright and colorful and beautiful, and it's a toss-up for me. What do you think about these two?
Yeah, I just rewatched the animated, and I'm going to say it's fun.
It's very fun.
So colorful, lots of crazy animation, lots of songs. I enjoyed it a lot. I will admit I've not seen the live action in a very long time, probably since right around when it came out. So I kind of don't remember it all that much. So right now, I have to say animated. If I rewatch the live action, I might change my mind, but I have to go with what I know. So I'm going with the animated.
I think the animated is, I don't know if it's better. It's just I really love it.
Yeah.
I'll run down the Rotten Tomatoes of these real quick. Animated has an 81% critic score and a 78% audience score, so not bad, pretty good. And then the live action has a 51% critic score and a 55% audience score, so right around the middle of the road. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's really fun. It's also got Helena Bonham Carter in it. She plays the Queen of Hearts.
The Red Queen.
The Red Queen, yeah. I'll also give it to the animated.
And like you said earlier, there's Crispin Glover, Helena Bonham Carter. I'm also going to mention there's Johnny Depp, Anne Hathaway, Alan Rickman, Timothy Spall. Alan Rickman and Timothy were both in Harry Potter. I think that's cool. And then also a not as well-known cast member, Christopher Lee, was in this.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think it was a star-studded remake, and I still go with the first one.
And so this one did so well. I didn't know it made $1 billion, but the fact that it made $1 billion, this really kickstarted the, hey, we're gonna remake all our animated movies.
Yeah.
Because they tried it before with something that we'll get to in a little bit that we didn't know about. But yeah, this really kickstarted it to where they've really been, really been kicking into high gear lately, and they've been making all billions of dollars.
That's right.
Yeah. Which cinematic story is next?
Next up is Beauty and the Beast. Animated came out in 1991 and the live action in 2017.
The original was directed by Gary Truesdale and Kirk Wise, and it had a budget of $25 million, and it grossed $440.1 million. Pretty good. The live action was directed by Bill Condon, which sounds an awful lot like condom, and it had a budget of $255 million and grossed $1.264 billion.
Yeah, so this is the third movie that the remakes hit that B mark. This is actually the highest B mark. It's a 0.2 versus a 0.0. It's pretty good. Well, I'm going to go out of order right off the bat. I think the cast had something to do with this because the cast of the live action, it had Hermione Granger, Olaf, which ties in our theme song for this episode. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Gandalf. So I think those four right there, bing, 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 bing.
I can name all of those actors except for the last one.
Really? Go for it.
All right, well, Hermione Granger is Emma Watson. Is it Watson, right?
Yeah.
Or it's Emma Thompson? No, it's Emma
Watson.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Emma Roberts I really like also. Off topic. Olaf is Josh Gad.
Who doesn't like Josh Gad?
Who?
Nobody.
Oh. Well, why'd you ask? Sorry. I just steamrolled it. The next one you said is Ewan McGregor.
This version, yes.
And I don't know who plays fucking
Ian
Gandalf.
McKellen.
Oh, you said Gandalf. I was thinking of Dumbledore for some reason. I feel like an idiot. I feel like a total idiot. Yeah, Ian McKellen.
Well, when you said everyone but the last one, that's why I was like, really? Like, you don't know Gandalf? Like, I mean, I don't because I'm not good with names and stuff, but I thought for sure you would have.
Yeah, I definitely did. I thought you said Dumbledore. My bad. I'm an idiot.
So do you want to restart the whole thing with
no.
Cut the whole thing or act like a fool? I don't know.
I'll act like a fool. I don't care.
Okay. This one's about a girl named Belle who lives in a little town that she finds love in an unusual place. And there's some magical things that happen, and the things come to life, and there's a teapot, and
there's a candlestick. He talks.
And a stove, and a wardrobe, and it's pretty cool. There's this beast guy, and there's this bad guy whose name is Gaston, and everybody wants to be like Gaston. What is that song? It's like something like Gaston, you know?
I don't know. It's funny. I literally just watched this movie day of recording this, and I do not remember the song. This is a good movie, though. I actually really liked it. I have not seen the live action version yet because I had never seen either of the Beauty and the Beast, but I actually kind of liked this one. I thought it was pretty good.
Gaston is very narcissistic. He even has a song in there that's like, no one's slick as Gaston, no one's quick as Gaston, no one's neck is as incredibly thick as Gaston, which I think is a funny line.
It's a weird thing to brag about.
Yeah, no one's neck is as thick as mine. Yeah, but anyways, I think they're both good movies. They're along that princess line. I'm not saying I don't like a good princess movie, but I'll gravitate towards other things. So I don't really have a favorite over the two. I think, like we've talked about before, some animated, you can get away with anything in animation.
Yes.
Like, so I think the whole thing with all the plates and things going to life, it's just cooler. So I'm going to go with animation.
Cool. Because I want to watch the live action because I liked the animated. So I'll definitely give that a watch on Disney Plus, but I have not yet. I do want to mention the Rotten Tomatoes scores really quick because I think the animated one's pretty interesting. It has a critic score of 94% and an audience score of 93%. So only 1% off from each other. Pretty close.
Yeah, it's the closest so far. There is one coming up that'll be a surpriser.
Ooh. And then the live action, if you're curious, has a 71% critic score and an audience score of 80%. So pretty close. Not as high.
No.
So I think we're going with the animated for that. That wins.
Yeah.
Has a live action won yet?
It is not. So. Yeah, we're 4 for 4 on animated.
Okay.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, what's next?
Up next is Dumbo. First one came out in 1941 in the live action, part of that 4-year remake year in 2019.
And this is the first one I can say this about. I saw this one in theaters.
The original?
No, the live action. Yeah, the original. I was sitting next to Walt Disney himself.
Oh, wow.
So the animated one was directed by Ben Sharpstein, who's the head of directors, and it had a budget of $950,000, so not even a million, and it grossed $1.3 million. And the live action was directed by Tim Burton, his second one, and had a budget of $170 million and grossed $353.3 million.
So across the board, just off of finances, not critics scores, no one really likes Dumbo.
Yeah, I don't like Dumbo. I don't like either of them really, if I'm honest.
Yeah, for me, it's not that I don't like him. It's just more of a, I could go without. It's just an elephant with big ears. And that's pretty much the synopsis I'm going to give. It's an elephant with big ears. Well,
And it can fly.
It can fly, yeah.
Yeah.
But besides that,
it's friends with a mouse.
yeah, it's got a little mouse friend. And yeah, I will say there is one crazy scene in the original with the pink elephants. And that part was crazy.
Yes, agreed. The first one does move really fast because it's only 60 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it moves really fast. But I saw the live action in theaters with my brother, and that movie is a chore to get through. I love Tim Burton. This was a huge miss for him. This movie is just a chore. It's so sad and dreary, and it's just got this gray tint over all of the movie, and
well, you can't win them all.
It's not good. It's not good.
Fun fact about the original: it came out on Halloween. That's just a little fun fact.
Oh, on like October 31st?
That's the one.
Oh, were they celebrating Halloween back then? When did Halloween start? I honestly don't know.
Yeah, but it was early on. It started in like 1900s. There was costumes in the 30s, and trick-or-treating didn't really start until the 50s. And this came out in 41, so Halloween was a thing. It's not super popular, but
okay.
Yeah, let's talk about notable actors real quick.
Go for it.
I think this is fun. In the live action, there was two penguins and a Batman, and
Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and who's the second penguin?
Colin Farrell.
Oh, he's in that? Oh yeah, he is. He is. Yes, yes. And this is Tim Burton working with Michael Keaton again.
Yes.
After Beetlejuice and Batman Returns.
They're probably friends.
I definitely think they are, because the only reason Michael Keaton didn't do Batman 3 is because Tim Burton didn't come back. So I will say there's a huge disparity in the Rotten Tomato scores of these two movies. The animated has a 98% critic score, but only a 70% audience score, whereas the live action one's more in line, I would say, because the critic score is a 46 and the audience is a 48%. So right around the same area.
Yeah, so they thought the same thing. They both thought it sucked.
Yeah, it does suck, man.
Yeah, I've only seen the animated, so I'm going to give it to that.
Yeah, I'll do that because it's only an hour of your time. I don't like Dumbo very much. I think it was Walt Disney's favorite movie that they ever made.
All right, up next is The Jungle Book, animated in 1967 and the live action in 2016.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
There's actually a live action movie from 1994.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the first ever Disney live action remake that they made. And you and I just apparently didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
This movie's about a little boy.
Mowgli.
Mowgli. And he's got some animal friends. And I'm just going to keep it short like that.
Yeah, and when you think about his clothing, he only really wears the bare necessities. Just covers his, areas.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. So yeah, the animated one was directed by Wolfgang Reitherman, who directed one of the previous movies we talked about. This one had a budget of $4 million and grossed $378 million. Huge profit. The live action one from 1994 was directed by Stephen Sommers, who is a pretty notable director, I would say. This one had a budget of $30 million and it grossed $70.7 million. And then the 2016 version was directed by Jon Favreau, who has also directed another movie on this list that we'll get to. This had a budget of $177 million and grossed $966.6 million, just short of $1 billion.
Yeah, Jon Favreau actually voiced a little role in this one.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, some of the notable ones, I'm pretty sure the only notable ones would be for the third movie, the most recent one. It's got Bill Murray, Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson, Christopher Walken. Yeah.
That's not true, though. There's some notable cast members, I think, in the 1994 edition. This one has Jason Scott Lee, Carrie Elwes, who's from The Princess Bride, Lena Headey, Sam Neill, who's in Jurassic Park, and John Cleese from Monty Python. I think there's notable cast members all around. And this was part of the 30-year gap from the 60s to the 90s.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to go that deep into the notables, like I was only going the big guys.
Oh,
Gary
sorry.
Shandling's also in the most recent one. Who doesn't like
Ooh.
Gary Shandling?
I don't really like Gary Shandling very much.
Neither do I. You can leave that part out, the who doesn't like him. Have you seen the middle one we didn't know existed?
No, I have not. I've only seen the 60s and the 2016 edition.
Yeah, and this is a popular story because Netflix brought out a Mowgli story or something like that. And
yes.
There's a few other things out there. So it's a popular story.
Yeah, so Mowgli was directed by Andy Serkis. That one is more based on the book than the Disney story version, and which because the book's in what's it called? It's in the public domain, so anyone can make a movie about it. So Netflix did, and I actually really liked that movie. It's got Christian Bale as Bagheera.
Nice,
very, very, very cool. But yeah, I've seen only the 60s and 2016.
And which one are you going to go with?
Oh, the 2016. I think it's fantastic. I don't really like the animated edition.
The only part I liked about the animated one was King Louie. I thought he was hilarious. The
yes.
That part, that's great.
I think the 2016 edition is just really fantastic, and that kid, the kid acting in that movie is just such a great actor because he's literally acting with nothing. Like if you watch the behind the scenes, it's just him walking on a blue screen talking to animals that are not there. It's crazy. And I think this one's fantastic. But this one, I think all three of these movies are very popular because the critic score for all of them in succession is 88%, then 80%, and then 94%. Whereas the audience for all of them is 82%, 55%, 86%. So I guess audiences don't really like the 90s edition very much.
Well, like you told me earlier, that 90s edition, the animals didn't talk. So I'm going to say the audience didn't like that fact.
I probably would agree with you there.
So this is the first one that a live action took our votes.
Yeah, I think this is one of the best live action remakes Disney has made.
Yeah, feels good. Up next, we got Lady and the Tramp.
Oof.
First movie came out in 1955, and the live action remake, part of that 4-movie year I keep talking about, 2019.
So the original was directed by Clyde Geronimi, who actually this entire director team has actually worked on another movie together. So it's Clyde Geronimi, Wilfred Jackson, and Hamilton Lusky. This one was made on a budget of $4 million and grossed $187 million. It's pretty good. The live action was directed by Charlie Bean on a budget of $60 million. And because this went to Disney Plus, there is no gross net profit available. So technically, technically this movie grossed $0.
According to the public.
Yeah, because technically, with how streaming services work, I explain this to my brother all the time. He doesn't believe me. You pay for the service. All the movies are included for free. Like if I tell people, I'm like, hey, you should check out Stranger Things. You can watch it for free on Netflix. Because if you have Netflix, it is free.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I assume like all the actors and directors all involved, Disney's paying them out of pocket, knowing that the subscriptions is paying for that. So essentially, your X amount of dollars a month paid the director.
Yep.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. I saw the original when I was a little kid. Have not seen the remake. Thought it was pretty good. It's just about a lady dog and a trampy little dog. Tramp's actually the boy.
They eat spaghetti and they kiss?
Yeah, it's the dog with the spaghetti. Is that what it's called in Chippendale?
Oh, did I spoil the love?
No, they're just eating. You don't know what happens after the eating. We're fine.
Okay. Well, yeah, I like the animated. I think it's pretty decent little movie. It's not one of my favorites or anything. And the remake, it was one of the first movies that Disney put on Disney Plus, I think. It was in that first batch of ones they released. And I think this is a very underwhelming remake. I do not think it is a very good movie. So I would vote for the animated on this one.
I'm going to go animated as well.
Cool. That's a good.
I do want to quickly mention a couple standout actors from the live action Lady and the Tramp, Sam Elliott and Benedict Wong. Both pretty good.
I like both of them as actors.
Yeah. All right. Up next, The Lion King. The animated came out in 1994. And the live action, part of that 4-movie year, 2019. I'm going to right away say the animated Lion King is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. I'll just say that right now.
Well, without spoiling anything, I will also say The Lion King is my favorite Disney movie of all time.
All right, and the next movie.
So the animated was directed by Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff with a budget of $45 million. It made $968.5 million. The live action, we'll get to that. This was directed by Jon Favreau, and it had a budget of $260 million, making it one of the most expensive movies ever made. And it grossed $1.663 billion, the highest grossing movie on this list. And it is also the highest grossing animated film of all time because it is not a live action remake, it's an animated remake.
Is CGI the same as an animated movie?
Yes.
In the same classification?
Yep. This is a photorealistic animated film.
We don't need to remove this from the list because of that. This is going to count as a live action.
Everybody says it's a live action. I was just saying it's a technicality.
Technicality police over here.
It does have that designation, though. It is the highest grossing animated film of all time.
Nice.
Yeah. I think we both agreed The Lion King is our favorite animated movie.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people agree because The Lion King has a 93% across the board. Critics and audiences alike love this movie. It's almost universally acclaimed. And the live action, quote unquote, is a 52% critic score, but an 88% audience score. And I much more align with the critics on this one because when I saw this movie in theaters, I was like, wow, this movie's kind of boring because it's just so brown and dull and not bright or colorful or fun like the animated one is.
Which I'm going to contend to you when we move on to the next one because you have some high things to say about that. And the for the same reasons, but in reverse, which is very hypocritical. And I think it was a good, as close to real as you could have got. So I think that was pretty cool. I get that Pumbaa looks nothing like Pumbaa from the original, but that's how warthogs look. Like, I think it was good for what it is.
I just don't like it. I don't know. I just find it dreary and dull.
You cannot like it, but I just think, well, I'll just spoil.
So brown.
I'm going to go right into the next one and spoil that for it. Well, not spoil. But you're talking about how brown it is, and I'm saying, but that's realistic. And you're talking about how great Mulan is. Yeah. Mulan's also realistic and not colorful at all compared to the original Mulan.
Yes.
And now here you are saying, like, it's not that good because of the coloring. And Mulan, you say the same thing, but you say it's
okay,
great.
Before we move on, though, do we agree that the animated wins The Lion King?
Oh, by hands down.
Okay.
But I'm also let's talk about the cast for both though. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Matthew Broderick,
Lion King,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
Jeremy
Irons.
Rewind, you can't cut me off. This isn't fair. I think across the board, especially combined, Lion King might have the best cast of any Disney movie.
I agree.
Especially combined.
Yes.
You want to cover the animated and I'll cover the live action?
Sure. Just off the top of my head, I can name a bunch. Simba, there's Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Matthew Broderick. You got James Earl Jones. You got Jeremy Irons. Rowan Atkinson's in this. You got Cheech Marin. You got Whoopi Goldberg. You got so many people in this one.
Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane. He's the one I was struggling to remember.
Yeah,
I like him. He's in Mouse Hunt. Sorry.
Yes, and Birdcage. Yeah, in the live action, James Earl Jones came back. Beyonce.
I believe he's the only cast member to come back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Donald Glover, Seth Rogen, Donald Glover, Seth Rogen, John Oliver, Eric Andre, Amy Sedaris, Billy Eichner, and Chance the Rapper, and Keegan Michael Key.
That name, I always struggle with it. It's too many syllables.
Yeah.
Keegan Michael Key. And it sounds like it should all be 2 words and
well, just it's key twice. So it's Keegan Mike and Keegan. Keegan Mike and Keegan Michael Keegan. What?
All right, so tell me about Mulan.
Yeah, so Mulan. Animated came out in 1998, live action 2020. I feel like this is the shortest time span for a remake for these Disney movies.
Believe so, only 22 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the animated was directed by Barry Cook and Tony Bancroft with a budget of $90 million, and it grossed 304.3 million, whereas the live action was directed by Nikki Caro and it had a budget of 200 million, and this one only grossed $70 million. But that's
Ouch.
because it was released during the pandemic, and the 70 million came from the premiere access that it did on Disney Plus, where you could buy it or rent it. But most people just waited because they're like, well, it's coming to Disney Plus in a month anyways. Why should we pay for it? Kind of thing.
Are there numbers showing, like, are there statistics anywhere for Disney Plus showing how many people watch a movie like within the week of premiere or something? Because if that's the case, you could do the math for subscription cost and kind of figure out roughly what it would make, you know?
I think I think they do release numbers. I know Netflix does not. I don't know what
Yeah.
Disney's policy on that is.
So that might be a little guesseroo way to figure out.
Starting off Mulan, it's about a a lady who decides to pretend to be a boy to go fight in the army because boys or girls are not allowed in the army. So that's the thing behind this. In the animated
Yeah,
one, she has a pet dragon. In the live action, she does not. I love the live action. I love both of them. I thought the live action was fantastic. What did you think of it?
I thought it was good, except for a few things. Like I said before, I try to look at them as their own thing. But when you change the story, like when there's a huge story change, then I notice it. You know, I'm not gonna nitpick a little, oh, that line wasn't there. But the whole thing with the Falcon, like the Falcon's a witch. All of a sudden there's like a one-on-one chick battle, which never happened. Like it's like a whole aspect. It's like adding a bad guy. Like that's not part of the real movie. Like so that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. A lot of the crazy kung fu type flip things, a
Yes.
few of the scenes looked completely garbage to me. You could see like I mean you didn't see any strings or anything because it was probably all fake anyways, but it just looked like okay, that was horrible. Like I've seen a lot of martial arts movies where they seem flawless. You're like, that was cool. This, like right off the gate, she flips off the roof, um, and the way she like swung around and like landed, it just looked super fake.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know. I really loved this movie. I loved the action. I loved the realism behind it. I just really liked it.
And
This could be a,
I've said from before, I wanted this to be a rated R movie because the original, you know, being a cartoon and everything, an
yeah.
animated kids movie, there was a lot of room for lots of nudity and violence. So they could have made this an R-rated movie and ran with it, and they would have been very good.
I can actually totally see that.
Yeah,
I
Disney
agree
wouldn't
with
do it.
you.
Yeah, but I
No,
think there was plenty of room for nudity and plenty of room for like crazy violence, like with the whole that one village being just ransacked. Like, yeah.
well,
Eh,
anyway, I could go either way on Mulan. I think me personally, I like the live action more, but I
sure.
could go either way. Eddie Murphy's Mushu is really great.
Yes. Well, that was another thing about the original versus the remake. Again, doesn't kill the movie for me, but there's no singing and there's no pet dragon. Again,
Mushu
it's
is in the movie though.
right.
Hmm.
But so it is its own thing. But when you go from a musical, essentially, song here and there, to no music, especially because Mulan had some great songs that everyone loved. So yes, they do play the scores. You can hear it in the background. You know what song's playing.
Yes.
But when you want to hear that "Make a Man" song, originally sung by Donny Osmond,
Oh, I did not know that.
yeah, and then it's not there, it's kind of like, oh,
Didn't that song play in the credits though? I'm pretty sure it does play in the credits.
I don't remember.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
so
you
I'll
know,
let you. You're probably going to choose the animated.
I will. I've seen it plenty of times, and yeah,
That's fine. I'll go either way.
sure.
I should read the Rotten Tomato scores for these ones. Mulan, the animated, is very close again with an 86 critic score and an 85 audience score. So only one off again. And then the live action has a bigger disparity where the critic score has a 73% and the audience has a 47%. So a lot less people like that movie in the audience than the critics.
Yeah, and I do think, like you said, it came out during the pandemic. People had
Yep.
other things on their mind. They weren't super excited for Mulan. And I also do think, well, let me say this.
There was also
As
controversy around its release, so I
sure,
think that factors in a little bit.
and as a movie by itself, if the first one wasn't there, I liked it. But I do think when as soon as people got wind of there's no singing, it's very different. People are just like, I'm not even going to give it a try then.
See, that's what I liked about it is it's different. Whereas like The Lion King, it's just the same exact movie
Sort of
remade.
because it's like 40 minutes longer though, so I don't know how it's the same movie.
Yeah, I don't know where they got the extra 30 minutes
I
because
assume it's just extra long cutscenes of an animal walking before the line happens or something.
yeah, because that movie's
Yeah.
like just spot on.
Yeah, so for the first one, as you mentioned, Eddie Murphy, he played Donkey in Shrek. You should go back and listen to that episode. We covered Shrek. It was a good time. Along with a few other well known actors of Asian heritage. BD Wong, I believe he was in SVU.
And
James
Jurassic
Hong,
Park,
yeah, in Jurassic Park. James Hong, Kung Fu Panda, and many other things. Everyone
he's
recognizes him.
he's in like 200 different movies.
And Pat Morita, he's Mr. Miyagi
Yep.
in the Karate Kid movies. And George Takei, he is
Sulu.
Sulu from Star Trek. So a lot more than you'd realize.
Oh my.
Oh my. And then in the new one, pretty much the only one that stands out to me, well, here's one. Jason Scott Lee. He was Mowgli in the live action one we didn't know existed.
Oh yeah, the 1994 one.
Yeah, and then the only other one that I recognize is Jet Li.
Yeah, who's super very famous. He's from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Very famous. He also looks very good for his age. I'll admit that.
How old is he?
He's 60, but he looks 25.
Oh yeah, he looks great for his age then. I didn't even realize he was that old.
Yeah. And the last one on the list, Pete's Dragon from 1990. Whoops. First one, 1977, and the live action, 2016.
The animated was directed by Don Chaffee with a budget of $10 million and it ended up grossing $39.6 million. Whereas the live action was directed by David Lowery with a budget of $65 million and it grossed $143.7 million. I don't know if you've seen the original Pete's Dragon, but I watched it for this podcast and it's bad.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it from long, long ago. I just remember lots of bad 70s haircuts.
Everyone's got bowl cuts and mullets.
Yep.
And I think this is the only one where the remake is shorter than the original. Because the original Pete's Dragon is over 2 hours long. And the remake is like an hour 45.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, so this movie's about a little kid who has an imaginary dragon, essentially, and named Elliot. And I do remember from the first one, since it's an imaginary dragon, lots of things going on with no dragon on screens. Like the fence is getting run amok, and there is footprints here and there, but so it's kind of cool. A lot of special effects.
Yeah, this one, it's just weird because it's, the dragon's animated where the movie's live action. And so I don't know if this one even technically counts as an animated movie because only the dragon's animated, but it's just a weird tone and there's singing and the bad guys are like, they're acting like they're on like a stage play. I don't know. It's not a very good movie. I didn't like it. This one has a 56% critic score and a 70% audience score. So I guess people do like it, but I thought it was pretty bad.
I think it definitely counts as an animated.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is like in Jungle Book and Dumbo, those are like live action crossovers. Like there's the CGI animals, so it's kind of a fine line if you want to call something a live action movie or not.
What would you count Roger Rabbit as?
I personally call them like, well, I don't have a title, but like crossovers. Like it's just a movie.
I count that as a. It's weird because I count Roger Rabbit as a live action movie, but I count Space Jam as an animated movie.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't count them one or the other. I would just say it's like a live action film with animation characters. I just might say it all together like that, not classify it as one or the other.
Well, Pete's Dragon, the live action one, I actually think this is really good. I remember seeing this back when it came out, and just thinking it was really, really fantastic. It has a totally different plot from the original. This one, Pete finds the dragon, and all the people in town want to like kill it, and they're like, "How is this going to affect things in our town or whatever?" And Robert Redford's there, and he's like, "We got to get that dragon, Kate. We got to get that dragon." And this one's really good. It has an 88% critic score and a 72% audience score. So I think this is the only one where the live action is rated higher than the animated. I'm pretty sure.
Even though I've not seen the live action and the original, I've been so long, and you say it's garbage, I'm going to side with you, assuming it's good, and I will give it a watch. And
You should.
yeah, I'm going to go with the remake.
It's a very good movie. I thought it was brilliantly done. And it kind of sucks that it only made 143 million because I think this one's so good it should have made $1 billion, but I think because the original is so bad, people just were like, why should we go see that?
Well, and it's kind of, I think since the first one was kind of bad, like honestly, on the popularity level, how popular is Pete's Dragon?
Yeah, it's
not that popular. So
yeah,
it didn't really bring the hype. You know, someone sees Lion King coming out, no matter how good or bad the Lion King is going to be, people go, "Oh shit, I'm going to go see that."
exactly.
So they're like Pete's Dragon.
Yeah, it just doesn't have.
People,
it's more
people
obscure.
didn't even know it was a remake. They're like, "Oh, that's a weird dragon movie coming out." Whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty obscure.
Yeah. All right. Well, those were the Disney movies that we talked about. We did it. We talked about some Disney movies. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
Wheel of
Versus.
Yeah, this is a great part of the podcast that we have a lot of fun with, where we each choose 5 characters each from the movies we just talked about and have them battle each other. We'll spin a wheel, elimination style, 1 versus 1, see who gets the most wins, and that'll go towards the tally. In this episode, we're only going to do the live action remakes. You want to tell me who you got on your list?
Absolutely, I do. I have the time of my life, and I owe it all to you, babe. All right, I have Mulan. I have Pete's Dragon, Elliot. That's the name of the dragon. I have Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. I have Pumbaa from Lion King, and I have Jasmine from Aladdin.
Speaking of Aladdin, I have Jafar, also Genie, Simba from The Lion King, Beast from Beauty and the Beast, Bagheera from the most recent Jungle Book. All right, and I'm spinning.
I'm about to spin, 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 but my browser is not spinning. I got Jasmine from Aladdin.
My wheel landed so close on the line, I had to wait for it to tell me which one it landed on. I got Genie from Aladdin.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure in the live action Aladdin, doesn't Jasmine have a fight scene where she does like a karate kick?
I think you're right. And she is a pretty bad chick. In a good way.
Agree. Could have put her in the bad girls club, right?
No, that's why I said in a good way.
Oh, okay.
She's a badass good girl.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, but Genie's, he's got those powers. He's got magic. He can make a ton of guys with tons of swords, and that counts because that's his ability.
Or he can also just turn himself really big like he does in the movie and just squash her.
Yes.
I think you maybe win this round.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, big bad Will Smith over here.
Parents just don't understand. He's just trying to get jiggy with it,
Nah. Okay, I got that one.
Should we spin again?
Yes, sir.
Come on, big money, big money, big money. No whammies. Oh,
I got Beast.
I got the Mad Hatter.
Okay. So right off the bat, I am a power horse. Not really a horse, but I am powerful.
Yes.
Got big old claws. I could probably charge you and probably push you right through a brick wall, honestly.
And I'm as mad as rabbits. And he's got that hat, that he can take the hat and he can go into the hat and then he can pull a rabbit out of the hat, but he can go in the hat and then it's like, oh, he's just his feet and he's walking around with just his feet and he could hide in the hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then Beast will just rip your hat to shreds. And then if you're gone, even though you're not dead, I think it counts as Beast winning.
Okay, alternatively, what if he put the hat on you? He
can
pull a rabbit out of the hat. Can he put you in the hat?
But I assume as long as the hat's still there, there's got to be a way out of the hat. Like, I've never been in the hat, so I don't know what it looks like on the inside.
Yeah, I also don't know the logistics of this hat.
Yeah, so I
Is
feel
it
like
a 2-bedroom? Is there a bath?
yeah, I don't know if there's an ocean view or what, but I feel like if he put the beast in the hat, he would need to then destroy the hat, so there's no way out. Because I feel like there has to be a way out.
Maybe he could elbow drop it.
But would he? That's his hat.
I
That's his
don't
nice
know.
hat.
It is his nice hat. He got it
Yeah.
made as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think on pure power you might win this. I think
And as you go to put the hat on him, my claws come out and I start shredding. Yeah. Like kind of like a cat going in the sink. It's like, no.
All right, I'll let you have it.
Oh man, I got 2 already. And we did forget to mention that I am up 1. 4-3.
Yeah.
4-3 overall.
Who did you get?
I didn't want to make it sound like I'm 4-3 on this one. I got Simba.
Oh, okay. Well, I got Mulan.
Just to be clear, adult Simba, like teenage adult, not
Okay, yeah. So
not Jonathan.
Simba that fights Scar
Whatever.
at the end.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I get Mulan's got some crazy martial arts flips and tricks and
swords.
swords and shit.
Yes. You're a lion.
Simba's a lion.
Mulan uses a spear in the movie.
I will admit, I really did like the parts with the spear. How she'd like flip it up, do a flip, and kick her with her toe. Totally not possible, but cool.
It's maybe possible, but
Maybe
not like
possible. Not like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying she could kick a spear right through Simba's fucking head.
Fuck.
Yeah. There's a reason
I'm
Mulan,
not going down with the fight. I got
there's
that
a
spear
reason
in my eyeball.
Mulan was my first pick.
I got that spear in my eyeball, and I'm still coming at you.
Still charging.
I'm still
Throw
charging.
a sword at you,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, yeah, it goes to my shoulder. I'm still coming. I'm limping.
Cut off your mane.
By the time I get there, that Sarah McLachlan song starts, and you feel bad for this little kitty with swords and spears in it.
In the
eyes
of an angel.
I can't believe that was timed perfectly without planning.
We did it twice now this episode.
What was the first time?
I don't remember what we sang. This is a tough one because I think Mulan could take it.
But just for 63 cents a day, you can help Simba.
Yeah, I'm not trying to help Simba. She's trying to kill Simba. This is a lion.
Fine.
She's like,
all your blades and your animal abuse wins.
Good. We're not trying to protect the animals here. All right.
I'm just telling the listeners that you're pro animal abuse.
Currently, right now, in
Just
this
kidding.
moment,
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, spinning.
I already spun. Who'd you get? You want me to go first?
Sure.
I got Pete's Dragon.
I got Bagheera.
Oh. All right. Well, if this was the animated, you'd win.
Yeah, because the Elliot in the original is basically like this dopey stoner dragon. Like
He is a bowl cut.
yeah, he's kind of anytime he jumps through a wall, it's a perfect cutout of him, and he's just like a
Yeah, his vocals are literally like him being like
so I'd win that for sure. But not seeing the new one, I don't know how badass that dragon is.
The dragon is very cool. You should almost Google him. It's a massive dragon.
But is he just like a gentle giant, or does he like got some flames?
He's a gentle giant, but he does terrorize the town a little bit, specifically when like towards the climax of the movie when the town's like trying to rally against him and he's like swooping through and stuff. It's a big ass dragon.
Okay.
I think a size alone I could take this. He could just swallow you in one bite if he had to.
Probably. And honestly, Bagheera probably has a level of scaredy cat like most cats do.
Yes. But curiosity also killed the cat. So Bagheera could be like, what's this dragon? Oh no, now I'm eating.
No. Oh, I'm not curious at all. I know it's a dragon.
I've had good luck with dragons before.
You have.
Wait till we do the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings episode and I choose the dragon Smog.
All right. I think you're right about size. Any dragon could kill any cat when it comes to these sizes.
Except for the dragon in Pete's Dragon, the animated.
But that was a small dragon compared to this dragon.
Yes, but
That's
I'm
why
just
I said
saying
when
it can't kill a
But
cat.
that's what. No, I said when it comes to these sizes.
I think a
Right
house
before-
cat could kill that
Because
dragon.
right as I said that, I said any dragon could kill a cat. And then I thought of Mushu, and I was like,
Yeah.
So that's what I said. When it comes to these sizes, all right. So we are tied 2-2.
2-2.
Let me tell you who I got.
I'm gonna just spin.
All right. I have Jafar left.
So I got Pumbaa, and I chose Pumbaa for a very specific reason. But I'm gonna
Okay.
let you go first because what does Jafar have? I don't remember him in the live action one as well.
He's got that cobra staff, and he's just a dark magic sorcerer, essentially. He's very wicked when it comes to the magicals.
Okay.
Like he
Well,
could do a lot with your little warthog-looking ass.
well, now here's the thing. In all of the Lion King movies,
We're talking about one movie, but go ahead.
Pumbaa has the ability to fart so profusely and so stinky that everyone runs away from him, but everyone in the vicinity of him immediately passes out. It's happened in all of them. I think he tries to come in close. He's like, "What's this warthog? I'm gonna come kill it with my staff." Boom. Pumbaa farts. He's knocked out. Jafar. He's
I think
out of it.
Jafar never comes close. Why would Jafar try to smack you with a wooden staff when from afar,
He could stab
Jafar,
him with it.
Jafar from afar would just be like, magic, 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 and throw you in like an hourglass like he did to Jasmine.
I guess, but maybe
Especially because I assume, this is an assumption, I assume Disney characters know who Disney characters are. So it's not like, what is this warthog? I assume he knows it's Pumbaa.
well, yeah,
I mean,
they used to go to Mickey Mouse's clubhouse.
Yeah.
Or the villain. There's that show about all the villains. I can't remember.
So he's aware of who Pumbaa is and those fart powers, if you can want to call them powers. So I think Jafar from afar would win.
The warthog also can run and do his headbutt thing. And
Not,
I actually
not when it's in an hourglass.
isn't there
Trapped
doesn't Pumbaa have a fight scene in Lion King? Doesn't he fight off a bunch of hyenas?
yeah, Timon and Pumbaa. Timon's riding him, and he comes trotting in, and a bowling pin sound happens, at least in the original. And then they go flying, and then he does some kicks and stuff. Yeah, it's a good scene. The original. I don't remember the fight scene from the second one, or if it's the same.
Agree. I really thought Pumbaa had this, but you're pretty adamant on the dark magic, so
Yeah, I think Jafar from afar would win. You're hoping for that up close battle, but Jafar wouldn't get up close.
yeah. Well, I guess Pumbaa's gonna not be around anymore.
Stick an apple in its mouth and have yourself a cookout.
Wow. A luau.
Exactly. That was one of my favorite scenes from the original one, where Timon's got the hula skirt on and the coconuts, and Pumbaa has the apple in his mouth, and it's like, and that song, it's so great.
That is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Just a quick intersection. If you would like, if you go over to my YouTube channel, Punk Rock Blues, I've done a drunk explained of the original Lion King, and it's
That
very
is
good. I
awesome.
think
I will probably look at that.
it's pretty good.
All right, well, that was good. I won. I'm up 2 now. We're close. We're real close, but now it's 5-3.
God damn it! I'm the biggest loser that's ever lost anything.
All right, well, that was a great episode. I enjoyed it a lot. What'd you think?
I really enjoyed it also. I thought it was a
Good.
really fun episode. This is a little out of my normal wheelhouse because I think
Yeah.
I mentioned this in a previous episode. I wasn't a big Disney kid growing up.
Sure.
I never watched a lot of the Disney classics. And so I'm really branching out of my normal wheelhouse here with this episode. And I got to watch a lot of movies that I hadn't seen before. Without this episode, I would have never known how awesome Alice in Wonderland was.
Well, then I guess you're welcome.
Yes.
No, I'm not taking credit, but you're welcome that this episode happened, because that's a good movie.
It was really good. I was astounded
Yeah.
by how much I liked it.
Awesome. Well, do you want to give out the email again?
You bet your ass I would love to. All right, you can email us at ourdadsarbrothers@gmail.com. Any questions, comments, concerns, tell us your favorite Disney character or if we're total idiots and if Pumbaa should have won that fight. You can message us and send us anything you'd like. And if it's good enough, we'll read it out on the podcast. So do that. And also give us a 5-star review on whatever you're listening to this to, because that really helps.
Yeah, and you can check out our Instagrams. Mine's just me, Nathan Tracy, or One Brick Wall at a Time, or Halomoto.
Halimoto.
HALLOMOTTO.
You can follow me on everything at BatTracy01. Otherwise, on TikTok, I'm Bat Loves Movies. And like I said on YouTube, I'm Punk Rock Blues. That's BLU''S.
All right, and next episode, I think this will be a fun one. Are you ready?
Yes.
Spy Kids.
Ooh, from Robert
Yeah.
Rodriguez?
Possibly. I don't know this.
He's the director.
Very cool. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Agreed. I'm very excited to rewatch those. I haven't watched them in probably since the time I watched them with you.
And that's probably the last time I've seen them. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's rewatch those, chat about it. It'll be fun. Well, until then, as always, I'm Nathan Tracy.
And I'm Bat Tracy. And our dads are brothers.
That they are. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, we should do this again sometime.
I would be down. Sure.
Maybe like once a week.
Kind of pushing it, but I think I can work my schedule around to make that happen.
We could
Yeah.
do a podcast.
I'm down. That sounds fun.
We just need a good name.
How about 2 penguins and a Batman?
I love it. Let's do it.
Perfect.